these junglers definitely scale up into very strong team fighters.
Yeah, well, I think the Kiana after the nerfs, it's only got 5% attack speed on the W, so I think Kiana jungle is not that great anymore. I think if you pick it on red side, it's not a good flex. It just kind of gives it away it's going mid because the clear is so bad. I think right now the meta is high tempo jungling. That's why I think Jarvan is the strongest jungler in the game.
Where's Mike Young?
I think giving a team Jarvan on red side is already a bit iffy. Then obviously you have Gragas, Elise, and Olaf, but I think Jarvan is definitely S tier.
Now the question is, do Fnatic ban away the Jarvan? Is that something that they prioritize? Gilius has already shown himself to be comfortable on it, something that he prioritizes. So I feel like if they don't take it away, they know it is an option for Schalke to pick it up. But they do already ban away the Aphelios from Echoes as well as the Rakan from Hylissang. So clearly some bot lane focus to limit what they can take against Forgiven. And the Syndra, interestingly, will be the last ban.
Well, right now the Senna is open, and this is the question a lot of people have. Is Forgiven willing to play some of the new champions? The answer is a resounding yes right here with the first pick, Senna. So this is our first time seeing him return to the stage and now be on a champion that maybe wasn't released back then. So the Senna is definitely one of these picks that scales up into being an absolute monster. And also, I think, has the ability to bully out sometimes in the early levels.
Yeah, I think MF Senna lane, I think it's pretty fine for MF. I think as long as you get a counter pick on support, the bot matchup should be pretty good. I didn't expect Forgiven to pick Senna. I actually thought they would leave it open. I didn't know he actually played this champ, but I guess it does. Reckless, I know, is a really, really good Senna player, so I thought Fnatic was looking for that. But we'll just have to see. I think most drafts, you kind of go AD jungle on the 1-2. You picking Gragas blind is really good, Jarvan blind is really good. You don't want to pick support yet, because you want to counter pick it on 3, or pick a solo lane on 3 and ban out 2, so you have a really strong matchup. But right now, blinding jungle is the best, and I would love to see Jarvan come out here against MF.
Yeah, do you think they can just take Braum here too? Because you see MF and Gragas on the other side. Seems like a pretty safe pick to me.
Yeah, playing Gragas into Braum is not the best, but you have to do it sometimes, and then playing MF into Braum is really not good. This kind of leaves Ornn open for Schalke really well, so I would expect to see an Ornn ban from Fnatic. And then a counter pick support here, maybe Thresh is really good against Jarvan, it's really good against Braum. It makes MF kind of safe, so she can get Lanterned out to the Jarvan ult. So yeah, I'd like to see a support pick here and definitely ban Ornn, because otherwise MF's going to get one shot.
Otherwise it's not going to be fun at all, yeah. As soon as you have to deal with any sort of dive, really, as that misfortune, it's not going to be fun. Okay, I had a whole thing about this earlier in the day.
Let's you obviously aren't a big fan of this champion.
I hate this.
I want to get Candles out a second, but what I will say is Blippo's put his time in on this champion in solo queue. He's prepared, he knows the matchups, but is this, we know this is good into Ornn, so is this just like a, hey, I know you want to pick the Ornn, I dare you, do it?
I think Set is really strong. I don't think it's a first pick champ, but I think picking Rakan there or Thresh was just overall better because you have a really good bot matchup and it's really good with Gragas and stuff like this. So I'd expect to see like a Thresh Rakan ban from Schalke. I guess they're picking out Set because now they get double ban and you can flex Set. I think mid lane Set is viable. We haven't seen it yet, but I do think it's a flex. So that's good for last pick. And then, yeah, they're definitely going to pick support on 4 and then have counter pick for mid or top.
Do you think Set can, because I've seen some mid lane Set too, but it's pretty much, it's in very specific matchups. I think like he can bully around a lot of melee champions in mid lane, but as soon as you deal with the ranged one, I think it gets really difficult, and that's where the Kennen and Karma ban comes in too from Fnatic. Those are top lane champions that can really give Set a hard time. The Karma especially, because she just presses ER on her entire team, and then you can kite this guy for days.
Yeah, I've been seeing Set top. I think most counters are basically range champs, like you said. It's kind of tough for Set, but he can always just kind of ignore the range champ and just push the lane and get prio. And I think Set is also really useful in team fights. It's the most tanky champ I've ever seen in my life. But there's the Diana ban. They're just expecting Nemesis Diana. I think he played that last week, right?
Yeah, he played both games, actually.
Yeah, I think LeBlanc is a really good pick for both teams. I think Thresh Rakan are still open, so that's super good for Fnatic, because Hylissang is really good on both those champs.
And of course, Rakan was banned in the first phase, so it is only the Thresh.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad.
No worries. So Fnatic can opt to go for the Thresh here, kind of save that last pick, not reveal if the Set could be a flex, and it is the Thresh, or should be the Thresh as you predicted. So they have that extra safety that you talked about for the MF, limit some of the Cataclysm threat from the side of the J4, and now they just need to figure out how to round this composition out. I feel like you probably have to take magic damage in the mid lane at this point, or in one of your solo lanes.
I think Jarvan is super good 2v2 if you have an AP mid, like a mage. Zoe, LeBlanc, Syndra, Cassio, stuff like that. I'm a bit shocked that Thresh went through, honestly, because I'm like a Jarvan one trick. And I say if I pick Jarvan and they pick Thresh, it's really annoying. So I'd have called for a Jarvan ban, Thresh ban there. But yeah, LeBlanc, like I said, it makes the 2v2 mid jungle really, really strong. But there are champions countering LeBlanc, and Lissandra is one of them. I think blinding LeBlanc is good if you have a strong jungle matchup, which they do in this case. So Lissandra is not as powerful, but yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because Schalke also got the Aatrox, which we saw work very well up against the Set in today's first game of the day, which of course got solo kills in lane and whatnot up against Finn. Now, this is the Cassiopeia in the mid lane for Nemesis. How do you feel about this one?
Not a fan of the Cassio, but Nemesis is a really, really talented Cassio player. I think he's one of his best champs. The only problem I see is LeBlanc Jarvan is really good in Cassio. In my opinion, at least, I think she's quite easy to kill and you can get really good prio. And Jarvan's probably going to look to do something level 2 this game because he has pretty good prios in most lanes. Yeah, that's basically how jungle works nowadays. You pick Jarvan or Lee and you go to enemy buff level 2 and you just fight them. And 9 times out of 10 you'll win. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Interesting to see, though, how exactly the game is going to unfold outside of the jungle matchup as well. Two very interesting compositions. MF Senna, a matchup that we've seen in a lot of different places, but the set, the newest addition to the Rift versus the Aatrox, did not go well when we saw it in the OG versus Rogue game. We'll have to see if Bwipo and Odoamne can show us a different side of the matchup. Odoamne is hoping for a repeat performance of what Alfari did earlier in the day, but we're just going to shake hands and we get closer and closer to getting into game.
Yeah, and we looked at these two drafts. You know, Kadril pointed out very high priority on this jungle mid lane, 2 versus 2 for the side of Schalke. Emphasis on making plays happen early because on the side of Fnatic, there's a lot of scaling power, right? That Cassiopeia will turn into a monster in a side lane that can be really difficult to deal with for really any of these champions. So especially with the Conqueror, which Nemesis is rocking in this game, that's something they're going to have to try and keep in check.
And here we go. It's never mind.
There's a pause.
There's a pause. Thank you, kid.
We're in the future.
We're in the. There it is. Guess what, guys? This break's brought to you by Kit Kat.
Have a break, have a Kit Kat. No, but in all,
This is why we brought you on the desk, Kadril. You have a bright future ahead of you.
honestly, I really do like Kit Kats.
Wait, do you actually have one? You can give one.
I have a wrapper up here.
That's not enough.
Frosk must have been munching on one earlier.
Disrespectful. All right, so here we are. It's the pause. We have a lot of time. We talked a little bit about jungle mid, 2v2. I'm curious what your thoughts are on the rest of the lanes. Do you have a strong opinion at all, Kadril, on the Aatrox versus Set lane? I don't know how much this is being seen in scrims or if this is considered a counter pick, because the only evidence I have so far is Alfari crushing face.
As far as I know in the Aatrox Set matchup, I think Set can get prio whenever he wants, but Aatrox can always scale up, and I think towards one item, Aatrox can fight him, but I think Set normally wins if both sides play perfectly. I think Set just kind of beats every melee champ in the game most of the time, so I think probably they have prio on top this game.
Yeah, I think one of the things that is a struggle for Set, especially in this matchup early, if it ever comes to all ends, because I agree Set's one of those champions that's pretty good just walking into the middle of the wave, hitting that, especially with WMAX. He does have good wave clear. Against Aatrox, because Aatrox has so many ranged abilities, with the 3 taps on his Q, he can sort of CC Set away from him and make it so Set really can't get into range to hit his face. Also has the W to make sure Set snaps back. So I think it's easy for Aatrox to trade and really not get hit against. But if they're, both hitting each other with auto attacks without any sort of chip damage going down first, that's when Set should have the upper hand.
And don't RuneScape duel the Set. It's never a bad idea. Don't just stand still and hit each other.
Yeah, I think Set's biggest kind of counter is ganks. I think Set's one of the easiest champs in the game to gank. He's really, really immobile. He has really low CC and he has really low way to escape when he has no flash. I think you saw that in the OG game when we got the solo kill in top. Gragas just went straight top and killed him because, yeah, Set with no flash and like a wave bouncing or something like this, it's really, really hard for him to play. So.
He also, in that game too, it was against a Gragas jungle, so when Set presses W, he just can't move.
Yeah.
And then he just gets Gragas. It's like the freest cask of your life.
Yeah, the only way Set can get out of 2v1s is if he kills you both. So as long as you don't get stuck into that trap, then I think it's fine.
I like that, though. That's like probably the coolest way to get out of a 2v1, right? Outside of purely styling.
It's the honorable version of Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
Because Mordekaiser just yoinks one person in the shadow and beats him to death and then takes the other
1v1s. That's not a 2v1. As an update, League officials are investigating a bug report on Schalke's side. I'll keep you all posted as we know more or as we're getting back into the game. But in the meantime, Kadril, we got you for the first 10 minutes of gameplay. But what your management didn't know when they agreed to this is this is how we trap you here forever.
I'm stuck here forever. But
you're a caster now. Accept your new life.
Embrace the caster life. I mean, jungle is...
it's a great life,
ruined,
So.
Yeah. I may as well roll swap now to a caster.
Come back in season 11,
I'll see you guys in season 11. But I think jungle has 2 power spikes right now. It has level 3 power spike, then level 6 power spike, and then it's downhill from there. So level 3, you can be really proactive with Jarvan, Elise, Gragas, Lee Sin, really, really good ganks, really good setups. Level 6, whichever jungler gets to level 6 first, really strong.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much because, of course, levels 1 through 3, EXP didn't really get changed.
Yep.
If anything, it got easier to hit level 3. Gromp now gives you level 3 in your first clear, but EXP, especially the later the game goes on, significantly reduced. So it's pretty common nowadays to see AD carries getting out-leveled, or junglers getting out-leveled by their AD carries around like level 7 or 8. I've seen it so early.
Yeah, the thing is, when it comes to mid-game, your AD carry in mid are taking your camps as well. So on top of having lower XP, you don't have any jungle camps. So when I was playing a practice tool and I was level 18, warming up, I thought to myself halfway through the practice tool, like, why am I even playing level 18 practice tool? I'm never going to hit level 18 in a real game. So yeah, I closed that game quickly and went back to level 11, where I'm stuck.
That's where you're stuck.
Where you belong.
Yeah.
Stay at level 6.
Unless you get a team fight and you get 5 kills, a pentakill, then you get 1 level. And then if you get Nash, you get 1 level 2. So that's where the XP lies for jungle, right?
It's true. You actually, so they told you that catch-up EXP got removed, but there's still catch-up EXP when you kill a neutral objective.
Yeah.
So just take Baron, guys. It's
Yeah.
easy.
quick tips for jungle. If you want to get XP, soak lane XP without them knowing by hiding across the wall and wrap the camp. Get Baron and you automatically get 2 levels up, or get a pentakill. I think that's 3 good ways to get jungle
I like
XP.
get a pentakill.
Yeah.
They just get progressively more absurd, you know?
I'm behind. I'll just get a pentakill. That's no
I
problem.
mean, you have to find some way to do
All
it.
chat. Hey guys, can you walk into me? I'm really behind in XP and I just want to have fun. Like I just want to enjoy the game right now.
But also having early game prowess is really important for jungle as well right now, because if you can get the second spawn scuttle, it's a free camp. So you can get to level 6 first on Jarvan and Gragas. And if you're playing against like Jarvan Gragas this game, for example, if Jarvan gets to level 6 first, mid 2v2 is automatically lost because Gragas can't really contest. And then you can move into bot, you can dive. So that's when jungle is really impactful, 1 to 6. I think after that, yeah, it obviously does go downhill after the Herald and after the first tier 1's down and all your camps are gone because your AD carry's taking them. Then it goes downhill. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, Cajal. This does not sound like the idyllic paradise that I think junglers were hoping for when they heard jungle changes coming into the season.
Dude, all these people were adding me on, because I said instantly when the jungle chase went through, I'm like, I don't like this. You know, the jungle camp's getting reduced. You guys are going to be under-leveled. Like, either you're only farming or only ganking. It turns out we're only ganking. And everyone's adding me, and they're like, no, the jungle's so much better. And I'm like, just you wait. I knew.
Yeah, I think it was Rogue game. I think I saw level 8 Olaf and a level 14 Azir or something, or level 13 Azir. Yeah, I mean, it's not fun.
Honestly, Olaf does nothing after like level 4 or 5 anyways. So.
Yeah, true. It's true. Once you take your foot off the pedal on Olaf, oof.
Do you ever get nervous that when you go top lane to gank, if it's like an enemy rumble, that he's just going to one-shot you?
It does happen, especially with Mordekaiser. It's like, can we dive Morde? Is he level 6? Yes. No, we can't.
You're like level 4 when that
I'm
happens,
level 4.
right?
So yeah, I mean, the Rumble as well. Like, if you're level 4, 5, and he's level 6 with like a blasting wand, and you have no flash, and you E on him as Gragas, you're going to the graveyard. No doubt about it.
Straight back to the fountain.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, it just feels like it limits the jungle pool to a certain degree. Because if you don't have instant hard CC, right, you have to like hard CC and walk away. Feels like the extent of
Yeah,
your
I think
commitment.
jungle needs 3 things right now. It needs fast clear, it needs CC, and it needs dueling potential. And I think that's why you see Elise, Gragas, Jarvan as the top 3, and Olaf is coming in as well.
Are those the junglers you like to play, though? Like, if you could choose your perfect meta for jungle, is it like the Jarvans, the Elises, those guys, or is it Graves, Nidalee,
I mean,
Karthus?
it is a bit resident sleeper just playing Fnatic and Graves and just power farming.
Some people
5
like that.
items.
I'm not one of them, but some people
I mean,
do.
it's fun for the person playing it once you get 5 items, but it's unfun for the viewers, I think. Because like playing Jarvan and like fighting everyone level 2 is really fun because you're flipping it and it's really fun to flip it. But farming to 5 items is a bit boring sometimes.
Hello, audience. Thank you for the heart. Guys, as an update at the beginning of the game, Abadage paused the game reporting a bug that prevented him from properly using the shop. So after reviewing the shadow play, League officials have confirmed the bug. We are now remaking the game. Picks and bans are going to be happening as we speak. They're going to remain identical to what you saw earlier, and we will be getting into game shortly. So once again, apologies for the delay. I'm surprised Abadage didn't feel like he could just go into lane without any items, but I respect his decision. Didn't want to just style on his opposition, wanted to approach it respectfully. So
No items all game.
no items all games.
I mean, Rookie did that, and he won Worlds, so he did it for like a minute, but...
My support did it as well. When we played against him last year, he ran to lane with no support items or pots. So that was funny. It happens sometimes, you know, when you...
Oh, I remember that game now. Oh, no.
Morgana? Yeah. It also sucks for jungle, you know, it's like 1 minute, and then you look at the clock, 1 minute, oh, I have no items. Oh my god.
See,
It's a
no,
disaster.
I actually remember, so fun story from my referee days, because I was refereeing NALCS. I was standing behind Immortals Dardoch, and he's playing Warwick. Warwick was a champion back then.
Good times.
And he just bought a rejuvenation bead.
Oh, no,
he didn't
no machete?
actually buy the machete.
Oh my god.
And he was so confused. He was like, should I pause? I think the game's bugged. He thought the game was bugged.
Just remake.
Because he didn't hit level 2.
I mean,
Why would you share?
I mean, it's like when you smite the camp and you actually get the camp and you're like, wait, I'm still level 1? It takes you like a couple seconds.
Yeah, because of course, like, it happens so rarely. You don't expect it to happen, but
Yeah.
brutal.
It's also funny when you're like late invading and then you're 50-50ing the smite and then like the solo lane gets it. And you're like, wait, where did the red go? And everyone's level 1. And then the Lucian has it and then you just killed everyone.
All right, so in order to help us further fill the time, we're going to have a special edition of Random Cadril Play Breakdown featuring Cadril. Cadril, here's a random play that I've never seen before that you're apparently involved in. Talk to us about this one.
Well, Pantheon got cancelled on his ult and gets one shot. I remember this fight. So my ult went a bit wide. Okay,
And
that
your
sucks.
body slammed.
But I did a lot of damage to Elise, and both junglers are kind of underleveled. But Mickey dies, but we think we can fight because Dan is level 15, expects level 15. The Aphelios ult comes out, almost one-shots his ult, but still fine. This was our 4th Drake, I think. I wanted vision on it, but I couldn't see it, so we couldn't steal. But they walked into us. I think they Ryze ult on us here, which I think was a bit maybe too far, because Ryze is alone now. So we turn. The fight, I think it goes pretty well, because I flash over. Boom, and then they chase me. But then they die. I think we got all their carry splashes. I think the important thing in team fights like this is when you have champions like GP, Ornn, Gragas, Rakan, if your AD carry in mid has no flash, they're automatically dead next fight, unless they stand really, really far away.
Yeah, and you also saw there too, like with all the feathers on the ground from Xayah and the barrels too from GP, like their backline was completely zoned after the rest of their team had sort of jumped forward. So when the fight is super split up like that, those super strong 1v1 champs really shine.
Yeah, that's what you see in most team fights. Jarvan, GP, Gragas, Ornn. You ult the backline, and whoever can kill the front line first is going to win, unless someone makes some kind of super play, like Mickey did on Yasuo and killed them both. Yeah, it's hard for them to win team fights. But in this, I think in this team fight, me and Rakan didn't have ults, so it was a bit harder.
You're giving them false hope, though. I was watching that game. I was looking at that Aphelios scaling up. Like, if we are we were on 10-1 when Aphelios first came out. You guys were all dead to
Yeah, that ult would go on YouTube, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that all would instantly be another...
And immediately taken down, like you can't show that.
You can't show that. It's
That
not,
would
it's
for
not
sure
safe
go on
for
YouTube.
work. Watch all of Excel get one shot because they grouped together.
Everyone's screen goes grey. It's like, pause. Big officials. Bug.
Well, luckily that champion isn't as ridiculously
I
oppressive.
think it got nerfed, and it got nerfed again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double nerf. That's why I think Aphelios is not huge pro anymore. I think Senna is the most OP AD carry. And then
Okay.
Xayah Rakan is also really OP. I think there's like Xayah Rakan, Senna, and Aphelios, all pretty strong. And then MF. So.
Do you think Senna mainly because of, like, obviously she does a ton of damage, but also the range she gets and the healing too? I think that's something people undervalue a lot, especially not when you have these champions that split up the team fights, but in like pure front-to-back team fights. She can Q through her front line, heal them, and then also damage
Yeah, I
the
think
enemy
that's
champs
the fun
too.
thing. When you win a fight with Senna and you go Baron, you can kind of stand in a line and Senna just Qs you on the Baron and you all get healed. So it's really nice to just have Senna for Baron because everyone just gets healed up.
This champion is so incredibly...
And the best part is, if you have carry top against carry top and they all in level 6, Senna ult comes in hot and one team wins. So top's over from the AD carry roll. So yeah.
That's nice. It's like if Assault was a reliable long-range tool for engage.
Yeah, Senna ult's not even like travel time. It's just
No,
boom.
it's just instant. It's like
Shield
slight
and one
delay, and if you don't have a dash, you die.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
It's pretty much that simple.
And even if you are so horrendously bad at aiming it, your ally's gonna get a shield because the hitbox is huge.
because his shield hitbox is like the size of Jupiter.
You really have to aim in completely the wrong direction. We basically got 180
you just no scope and you'll probably
The best thing about that too is it's like, because Senna is she's supposed to be a support champion mainly, right?
Support.
But she does a ton of damage too. It's like,
One-shots me.
oh, she'll make her AD carry so frustrated because she doesn't build support items. So just give her an ult that's the size of the map so that she can always shield them is the idea there.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I mean, looking at level 1, Jarvan doesn't have sweeper, Braum doesn't have sweeper, so I wouldn't expect a late invade here. Normally, if you want to do a late invade on bot side, top side, you get your support to take sweeper.
Yeah.
Bot side invade with Braum, super good champ to late invade with its Braum. Or if you want to late invade top side with Jarvan, it's pretty good. Or he can base for sweeper now, which he hasn't placed his ward, so the sweeper won't be on cooldown. He can start red and go red to blue, so we'll have to see what he does.
This validates me so much, because we were talking about the exact same thing with your guys' level 1 last time, where both you and, or I believe Dreams placed the ward, or not Dreams, Tori. Tori placed the ward and then recalled in your game to swap out. You just held on to the sweeper, which was sort of the telling sign that the invade was going to be happening.
So if you don't want to late invade, putting your ward down level 1 is always useful, just gives free vision. You never know what's going to happen, so just drop a ward, swap the sweeper. Sweeper is, I think it's 40-50 seconds cooldown when you swap.
It should come up right when the first camp is respawning.
Yeah, so Jarvan could do red to blue here. Now you might think, well, Gragas is starting blue, that's useless. But most Gragas go to Gromp. So hopefully Selfmade goes buff to buff. I think that's the best thing to do against Jarvan. But if you go blue to Gromp, Jarvan can EQ over Dragon Pit and fight you, force your flash early, which I think Razork did last week on Lee Sin. Works even better with Jarvan. So hopefully he goes buff to buff. But if Gillies doesn't invade, then it's fine.
For now, we'll have to see. Looks like a little bit of a delay in terms of Whippo now coming to lane. Maybe looking to fake a leash, give a little bit of false information here, set Gilius off that the Gragas is on the bottom side. And Gilius will not go for the aggressive evade, will not have any information on Selfmade quite yet. Will just go buff to buff himself. Maybe look to contest Gragas at his own red.
See, the thing I don't like about doing Wolves here is you can't get level 3 on 3 camps now, unless he goes to Golems. So if he wards his red and goes to Golems, absolutely fine. But he has no info on Jarvan right now, so he obviously skipped the Gromp, which is really smart. They didn't even ward for it, because they kind of expected that he probably will do it. So Gilius will get level 3 first, so he could possibly contest the red. Depends if Selfmade does Raptors or not.
Yeah, Selfmade actually was pinging towards his Krugs right there, which would be very interesting, so he can hit that level 3 mark, as you were talking about. Also could, in theory, you know, this would be the time when Gilius could invade, because the ward that was on there that would have spotted earlier just died. So Selfmade definitely going for the much more safe route, and now if he meets Gilius, he should be level 3 too. Yeah,
the thing I don't like about this, I think buff to buff and then Krugs is better, because now Jarvan can look. If he does see him on red, it's going to be a fight, and he has no prios, apart from maybe top. But Gilius is looking for a level 3 gank mid.
Something you talked about.
Looks a bit hard though.
J4 duo. Nemesis though, is just going to flash away.
Not bad.
Yeah, good decision, but it does reveal Gilius on the map.
The thing I like about this play is, if Cassio has no flash, she can never push in this matchup. It's impossible. If she doesn't know where jungle is, yeah, she's just on her tower all game. So, yeah, if Gilius had info on the red, it would be quite nice, but taking Raptors is pretty good too.
Smite comes out, Selfmade going to go right over the wall. Red buff not completed, he just has to grab scraps on the Raptor camp there, and Nemesis actually using a lot of his time to come over and help.
Yeah, not great there. I think Selfmade eat over the wall, and then Gilius sorry had no red. If Nemesis just kind of gave up the Raptors, I think Selfmade could have taken red there, but he will get bot crab, and bot lane is pushing in, so maybe he can look for something down here.
Seems like it should be a hard lane to gank, but Hylissang, when he takes over level 3, should have Lantern, so they can go for a lane gank right here, and
smart.
Should work.
They probably get flashes here.
Lantern.
Yeah.
Play back. Holding away.
Oh, that's
going to get hooked clean. Hook comes in from Hylissang. Now the backup coming through the Ignite, taking down. First blood for Fnatic. Difficult jungle start, but they turn things around in the bottom lane.
I really like that play from Selfmade. You know, this is yet another game where he is getting very aggressive with his team early on. Even when, you know, you're facing down to Jarvan, it should be a weaker matchup. But he knew Gilius was on that top side of the map, very likely taking away his red buff, which just opened him up completely to go for that bot lane 3v2.
Yeah, this is just creativity in jungle. This is why Selfmade's so good. I think if you're Schalke and your Jarvan says, oh, Gragas is topside, your bot lane's like, okay, we can crush this wave bot, but you don't expect Gragas to just bot.
Rinse and repeat. Forgiven's in trouble. He wanted a 2v2 and he's not going to get it. Selfmade dunking down.
Yeah, bot's over, I guess.
Yeah. And look, so luckily for us, the stats team just fed me something, and I don't know if you know this as a player of Gragas yourself. Gragas currently 8-1.
Wow, that's
overall. And I thought this would be a game where it might be 8-2, but after those last 2 consecutive ganks from Selfmade, it looks like we might have a 9-1 scoreline.
Yeah, and Selfmade actually reacted really well to this. When his mid laner lost flash, he knew he had no prio mid. Top was being pushed in, so he had no prio top. So staying topside is useless, because you can't get crab, and your red's already gone, because they know it's there. So he just instantly runs bot for a gank. That's the least expected thing that the enemy bot will realize, and then 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, you can walk us through this replay if you want.
Yeah,
it's pretty straightforward stuff.
Lantern comes in, Thresh doesn't even have the flash for the play, and then the flash was just really unlucky. Gets hit around the creep.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, to the fountain.
Nowhere really to go, and then Selfmade just walks around, is seen on vision, so Forgiven knows what's going on, but there's still a flash on Hylissang, so what can you do?
Senna had no flash from the last fight, I guess, or she must have flashed earlier on. I didn't see the flash, but he was probably there.
Oh, Nemesis. Abbedagge playing with fire here. Hook back is there, slowly but surely burning down. They're now in the midst of the fight. Abbedagge has to run for his life. Whippo now trying to move in. Not going to quite get it on the face breaker there. Does he have enough damage to get anything done? 1 kill picked up again by the side of Fnatic. Such a good start for Schalke in the jungle has turned completely against them.
It was such a good play from Fnatic too, running all the way up both with their support and jungler. They knew that play could happen from Schalke coming off the reset of Dreams, looking for a move around mid lane. I mean, they just predicted exactly what Schalke were going to do and beat them at it.
Yeah, just smart play by Fnatic. They knew when Cassio lost flash level 3 that mid lane is really volatile. When they have a bouncing wave, they have to cover it, and they covered it.
Gilius, hooked by Hylissang. Here comes the body slam. They're waiting. They're biding their time. They want to interrupt the EQ.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, the snare is there. Forgiven trying to get something done, but it's not going to happen. Gilius 0-1 now, and 2-0-2 for Reckless 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, hurts. Reminds me of our game, but 80 carry is more fed, so.
Oh, Selfmade is not stopping. He's going in. That's the body slam flash. Gets over the wall. The hook going to land on it. Forgiven getting to play League of Legends. Reckless is out for vengeance.
It's a disaster.
Bro. Abbedagge is like, wait, can we remake this one too?
Like, guys, I can't buy any more items.
Oh, my shop.
It's not working. Well, that's because you don't have any money, Abadage. I know, but please.
I think the problem now is bot's gonna have perma prio. Top lane has perma prio.
Oh yeah, there's a set in this game.
Yeah, I think Set, when he gets Bramble Vest into Aatrox, Aatrox can never really win the all-in because of the healing reduction. And I think, yeah, Jarvan's quite far behind, so ganking top's going to be a bit difficult. So I guess, yeah, the only play you can do this game is mid if bot's in this much of a dire situation. But what I would like to see from Schalke is a swap. Push out this bot wave, MF's down on tempo, push out the bot wave and just look for a swap.
It feels like they're running out of options. That might be their only option at this point. Perhaps Odoamne can turn around the 1v1, but Bwipo still trading even so far. Dunks him right down into the tower. Quick flash out from Odoamne, but that might just be it. The fear on the minions as he speeds away.
Yeah, and Reckless is running mid here because he doesn't know if enemy bot's going to swap or anything. He's just running mid. So if bot lane pushes in bases, he's ready to go top.
This is actually really interesting. It was like him actually taking this path here because like that mid wave is fully pushed out, and of course his support's behind him, which I think is playing into that idea as well, where it's like, oh, if he ran bot lane right now by himself, he wouldn't be able to do anything, but he's just going rogue.
Doesn't need to be on bot wave, so he's just looking for pinks and hovering around mid. I mean, mid is the most volatile situation in the game for Fnatic, so putting as much resources mid early is perfect.
It was really smart too. We didn't see it because of course there was that fight, but there was a situation right around the time that Selfmade was ganking bot lane where Nemesis's wave was really messed up. It was pushing away from him, and of course he didn't have flash, so Gilius was looking for a gank, and Nemesis just reset. He gave up about a minion wave worth of gold and CS so that he would be safe because he knew his team wasn't playing around him. So I do think this team is actually very aware of the options that Schalke have and are playing really smart League of Legends.
That's the thing with Cassio into the block Jarvan. Once you lose flash, you can never walk up. So if the wave is bouncing like that, it just kind of sucks. You have to base and just wait for your team. If they are making a play bot and it's successful, perfect. You're just trading out 10 CS for that max.
Well, here's the swap you were talking about, Kadril. So they waited to push out that wave, waited a little bit longer than maybe you were asking for, but now they are on the top side, and Rift Herald has spawned here. But I think going for it's maybe a little bit much because Hillsang's up here too.
The thing is, Misfortune has no TP, so if you're first the Herald, you can always get it, and Herald gives you a free tempo ticket. So if you have Herald and enemy tries to trade by going bot tower, you can always Herald top, take top tower first, and you're actually in the game. Because if Fnatic gets Herald, it's pretty much over for Schalke, because Senna is the worst tower taker in the game, Aatrox is losing his matchup, so yeah, and Fnatic has priority there, so they're actually maybe fighting.
Ooh, that was close.
Gilius is going to grab that one in the end.
So Misfortune is getting free plates now, so Schalke has a choice. They have the Herald top now or base and match again. Looks like they're going to keep the swap, and I would like to see a Herald top soon.
Doing what they can to push for now. Abadage trying to clear out mid, but with the jungler revealed on the map, Nemesis a lot more confident to step forward. Conqueror making those trades much easier. We're waiting on that Herald, Kadril, but things do appear to be going from bad to worse on the side of Schalke.
I think Schalke has no pressure points on the map, right? I mean, Aatrox was doing fine into set, but mid's perma pushed in, support's always around the map, Gragas is pretty fed, and Misfortune is just running around everywhere. So, I mean, the thing is, Schalke, when you Herald, you need a little bit of pressure, like top wave pushing in, bot wave pushing in, but they have no waves pushing right now. And if they do Herald top right now, you probably see Cassio push in mid, run top, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late to do it now, right? Because Fnatic have tried to match this lane. Of course, when Misfortune is this strong, you want to keep it in the 2v2s. So Schalke decided we're just going to try and freeze the lane as best we can so that we can't get ganked again. But I don't think that works when Reckless is level 7.
I think the best play for Schalke now, again, is Jarvan goes mid, pushes out mid with a Blanc, and they just 3-man bot side. I think contesting top side is impossible.
But going in. Drag is coming through. Dream's in trouble, but the snare.
That was a good ult.
Stop that play from happening. Both sides going to back off. See if anything else comes of this one. Oh, Kadril's
Bye, Kadril.
Bye, Kadril. Thank you, Kadril, for joining us.
We didn't even let him say goodbye.
No, it's fine.
Any message for the fans, I'll relay it to them. He says bye and waves his hands. There you go.
Bye, Kadril. Thank you,
Thank
audience.
you.
You guys are the best.
God, has he considered casting? Has he considered coaching? He smurfed the draft. He smurfed the early game.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's a pro player or something.
Are you happy that he's so good at jungle that he can't threaten your position as the jungle expert? It's okay, I'm really worried about Jankos, to be fair, because he's very good at shouting, much better than I am, so...
He yells really loud.
We have to be very careful. We have to protect our job.
No, I think he yells almost too loud, you know? Like, Jankos needs to keep it down.
He'd be too talented as a play-by-play caster. People wouldn't enjoy it. They'd have nothing to criticize. So here we are, in the game state. As mentioned, Fnatic still very much in control so far. Bwipo trying to interrupt the third Q there, but Conqueror's been proc, now trying to use Gilius. Or trying to use Odoamne to take himself out to safety. The sidestep, the Senna ult coming in. Bwipo in trouble, but that's big damage. That's one. The only way he wins is if he gets the 2v2, and he might just get it. The flash to safety. Bwipo's still alive, but not enough. The Dragon Strike from Gilius will take him down.
Oh, no. Abdogge really wanted to get that kill down there in the bot lane. It will be a 1-for-1 trade in the end, and you know, Schalke should be happy with this. Overall, no flash on Bwipo 2 means that once Odo's flash gets up again, but wait a second.
Here you go.
Wait a
PGL
second.
tonight. Fnatic Bwipo, how to carry on set. You walk at them slowly, and if they stand still, you kill them. Spoilers, I think that's exactly what he's going to say.
All right, so now I'm going to tell you how to beat set.
No, don't do that, because then people will... You're ruining the content for the PGL.
Draft a comp with range.
Ender, you're ruining
Draft a comp with CC.
You're ruining the
and
content.
run away from him.
Oh.
You can just walk, actually. He's not even that fast. You know, if you compare Set's Q to Volibear's Q, even though Set has more movement speed initially, it's 30% to Volibear's 15, he actually gets less distance, because Volibear's Q lasts like twice as long, more than twice as long. He's worse than Volibear.
Worse than...
That's the logical conclusion I've reached.
There you go. It's all about how fast you can run an enemy champion.
Yeah, it's the only thing that matters.
Based on that, Nunu's the best, Rammus is second best, Volibear's third. That's in 4th place for how fast
Sion's pretty fast, too.
Sion's also fast. That might be down to 5th. Regardless, we're 12 minutes 30 into the game. It is about a 4K gold lead for Fnatic. Reckless has been zooming around the map. Now it looks like Forgiven's going to get taken out. Ooh, but he's invisible. The mist keeps him safe.
Look at Hylissang go.
Hylissang just waits.
He's crazy.
Reckless, they're going to go everywhere. But now Gilius can go in for the follow-up, but he's still backing off. He doesn't want to commit to this one.
Oh, see, they thought Abdogge was roaming over, which he was, of course, so Reckless wasn't willing to commit forward.
This is Rift Herald. The Rift Herald's walking away. How will Bwipo possibly kill it? No,
He couldn't.
Stopped.
He needed a tower.
No one was around for that plate gold either. That was really awkward.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Okay, that was strong words, but there it is.
I mean, plate money is good. That's the point of the Herald. I mean, Kadril literally said this. You want to use the Herald, and he was saying you use the Herald immediately, and I agree. Because if they pushed out top lane immediately when they took that objective, they get money. And they desperately need money, because right now Forgiven is 2,000 gold down behind Reckless.
Yikes. The only question remaining is Reckless going to do the thing when he walks by the fans at the end of the game?
I want him to. I want him to do it right when he walks past Forgiven.
Hylissang, here comes the hook. It will not land. Snare will manage.
Just a warning shot.
Warning shot. Just letting him know that he could if he wanted to. I don't think we've learned anything about Set this game. Top lane has not been super critical or important.
No.
But we've learned that Fnatic are very good about playing around their lane matchups, as we heard from Kadril. And additionally, going bot is still an option. We weren't sure if everyone going bot was the thing in the post-Broxa era of Fnatic. It's still a thing.
Still saying, it's funny, when Reckless is on your team, you kind of want to gank that lane.
Crazy. Gank the good player. Who would have thought?
Fnatic are lucky. They have a lot of good players.
Abdogge, though, they're going to commit a lot to Set. And one of two things is going to happen here. Either this is going to be very clean and very simple, or we're going to have on our hands a Reddit highlight reel. And what I'm going to say is, I think it's a Reddit highlight reel, because that's a level 11 Set to a level 7 Braum and a level 7 Jarvan. And this is not a champ you 100 to 0.
How does it feel to be Gilius in this game? He's just same level as the support. Oh, feels bad, man. Fnatic, though, should be able to get this top lane tower. And actually, Schalke backed away from bot lane. So while you were setting up, they were maybe thinking about going for a dive on that side of the map. Bwipo can play weak side and farm the entire thing. They don't feel comfortable because, again, diving Set, really, really, really difficult, right? He stores up so much grit right when you think you're able to finish him off. He can just turn that straight around onto you, especially when you have a couple of melee champions. So not going to be able to make that play. And, of course, they will cede more objectives as the second Rift Herald of the game has spawned. This one should be able to be used to break that mid lane turret finally and just give Fnatic even more control of this game.
And it's so tough for Schalke, right? Because they had a rough week 1. I wanted to see them recover into this week 2, show us a little bit more than what they did after their losses to Excel last week. But it has just not been a solid game thus far. Sadly, no really redeemable moments. Only really the 1-for-1 on the bottom side of the map. The only real advantage that they've been able to get is the Herald was wasted. And now
not again!
Just next on the menu, the knockback is there. Gilius is going to flag drag out to safety. That's the play, the ulti, but not quite enough. But in the meantime, Bwipo's taking a tower. They're pushing in the mid lane. Still a win for Fnatic, but good that Gilius was able to get out.
Yeah, Gilius just barely able to, thanks to the exit barrel there from Selfmade, knocked him away from the rest of the squad. Hylissang did lose his flash and his ignite there too, so makes playmaking, especially onto a champion like Forgiven Senna, a whole lot more difficult. But now Odoamne is way too far forward, and that's a Predator Gragas. Don't know if he can run from that.
Push him down, but he knows there's no ultimate there.
He's gonna have to flash.
He can use the dash to get out to safety. The hook's now coming in. That's the knockup. The hook comes out. Odoamne flashes from that one. Wants to try and turn and burn with the Senna ult, but we'll just back off instead.
I really appreciate the patience there from Odoamne, because it's very easy to flash the second you see Thresh wind up that hook, you know, thinking maybe, you know, he's just coming right at me, but held on to that one for a little while longer, was able to reactively get away, and that's what you expect out of Odoamne, trying to hold down the fort in this game. Things went really poorly for bot lane early on, but he's, you know, one of the players with the highest amount of gold on the team at the moment, as you can see with our great little graph.
Love it.
Do you like how I just seamlessly worked that in?
Look at you.
I was talking about Odoamne, didn't know where I was going to go. Boom, gold.
And you can see Reckless and Nemesis ludicrously far ahead. That is an Essence Reaver plus an additional BF sword. That MF ult is going to hurt. Just shredding through these waves. And at this stage, we are in the waiting game for the side of Schalke. Good news is you have Senna. You have that theoretical, inevitable scaling. Just like a Nasus or a Veigar. But significantly better.
We'll give him time. We'll give him time, Dracos.
But it is going to be a long time. And in the mid lane, you do have the Luden's Echo for Abadage. Gilius going for Cinderhulk. We'll still do a decent amount of burst damage here, but Abadage and Gilius are going to be in trouble.
Oh my, look at Nemesis sitting in this bush.
Or is Nemesis going to be in trouble?
I don't know.
That's Rift Herald used.
Nemesis is really strong. If Gilius recalls... Oh
There he
no.
goes, Miasma knocking him down. Huge damage to Abadage running for his life. That's ulti traded for ulti, though. Forcing Abadage off the map is going to be a tempo advantage for the rest of Fnatic as they push into bottom lane. You can see it in the picture-in-picture.
They're just going to get another tower for this?
Yeah.
Like, okay. All right, Nemesis holds his own. 1v2 in the top lane. True Savant building towards that Leandri's Torment, so going to be really hard to deal with him in the side lane.
You saw he holds his own like he was being contested. He was hiding in that bush waiting to kill someone.
I mean, it was 1v2 technically, so I'm going to say that was honorable.
1v2 because
That was honorable. I'll give him credit for it.
All right, fine. You can choose your own award categories. Oh, Fnatic, Earth, Wind, and Fire on the way in. And it's looking not quite like a 20-minute game, but another display of dominance from this Fnatic lineup. After a rocky first game, they have been on point since then, absolutely obliterating Misfits, and on track to do the same to Schalke. 6K gold, 18 minutes in.
It's not going to be a 20-minute win, though, Dracos.
No, yeah. You gotta acknowledge that.
Slowing down. Already worse in week 2.
Wow, that's a stretch. You're really trying to make that narrative work, aren't you?
Wouldn't be EU without some forced narratives, Dracos.
Wow. Wow. Dynasty.
Got any truers? Nope? Okay.
I don't think... So, here's the thing, is I'm wondering right now with what Fnatic has brought to the table. They don't have a ton of siege. Oh, Nemesis in trouble. Abadage goes in for a bit of extra damage. Nemesis, ooh, good stun. Forgiven with a follow-up. That's the shield there. They want to keep it going.
No.
Gilius now has to back off. This is a disaster. That has to be the worst possible outcome. Everyone is running. It's every man for themselves on the side of Schalke. Forgiven there to make sure Dreams can get out. The lockup is there. Reckless now on a rampage. If they had got that kill, there might have been a bit of hope, but that did not work out whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, Schalke right now, they're just trying to gang up and bully on side lanes, you know, something you oftentimes have to do when you are put at a significant deficit. The problem is, you actually look at the map right now, they have no vision on Fnatic's side of the map, so Fnatic were very easily able to collapse on over there and punish them, and of course, because it's Nemesis with his finished Seraph's Embrace for that extra shield, he also landed a beautiful double stun in that trade too. Schalke just didn't quite have the damage, and now Baron spawned at 20 minutes, and Gilius is just now back onto the map. They can take this so fast right now with double Leandri's.
Leandri's as well as the Haunting guys there. A bit of extra damage. They're going to burn through that one, and now they might find the follow-up fight as well. Keep your eyes on Whipple. Where's he going to go? Abadage locked up on the side, trying to step away, but Reckless is now unstoppable. It's simply too much damage. Forgiven getting pulled back. Whipple looking to dunk him down. Ulti already used, but wants to finish him down. Knuckle down, 1-2 punch. That's a knockout in the mid lane.
Just run away. It's easy, man. No. Whippo absolutely smashed him right there. Now 3 off the board, and Fnatic, they're going to be able to walk this one down. We're talking inhibitor at 20 minutes into the game, because there's no one left to defend.
They might be talking game.
No.
They're very strong. That's 2 items on Reckless.
I mean, if they went for the game, they'd have to 5v5 them like one more time inside the base, missing a couple
Nemesis
of key ultimates. Look, they've already left, man.
Reckless has
2 of the teammates. They're not gonna 3v5. Yeah. Haha, unless.
Here comes Whippo. Pulls Gilius back.
Okay.
Gilius hooked. He now goes golden. That is the Reckless ulti used. Gilius is going to be in trouble. Abadage trying to finish it off. Forgiven on the way in. Dreams with a highly unnecessary disengage ult. Now Abadage is going to be in trouble. Nair manages to connect, and Ender, I think I had it right on the money there, committing.
All right, next on the list. He's gonna get taken down. Reckless dominating. 1-2 kills picked up.
He might just be fishing for a penta in the midst of this base, but the timer will run out shortly. Whippo is gonna break some faces here. Tower's going down. It's 21 minutes and 30 seconds. You can criticize them. They're a bit worse because it's 2 minutes later, but it's still an absolute display of dominance from this Fnatic lineup from start to finish. Taking their sweet time, farming a few more kills, padding those stats, and closing it out clean.
Fnatic are not ones to waste any time on the Rifts in 2020.